All right, this is Big Dogs porting right here, and this is part two of our GM truck shorty header test. In the previous video, we flowed the 2.5 inch collector flange right here to see what it flowed, and this is before we do any port work on this header. We actually port headers for an increased flow. A lot of guys, they emphasize on focusing on the cylinder heads. You may have a cylinder head that may flow 225 CFM, 230 on the exhaust with a good exhaust port, and they bolt on a set of headers that pretty much only flows 210. So you have to pay attention to the details. You have to pay attention to the whole system instead of, certain aspects of the parts. Same way with the intake manifolds. A lot of guys have cylinder heads, and you see this quite often. I see this a lot. A lot of guys have cylinder heads that they go out and spend this money on airflow research, trick flow, Brodix, or they go out and get their cylinder heads ported, and their intake is flowing 270, 280, 320 CFM, and they bolt on these intake manifolds on the cylinder heads that flows 225 CFM, 230 CFM, 240 CFM, and they're giving up a ton of flow and a ton of potential power. And I see this so much. So we're doing these videos to educate you guys, so you won't be disappointed when you spend your hard-earned money on parts and port work and flow and improvements and things like that. So let's go ahead with this test. Like I said, we're doing an individual runner now on this header. We're doing this one right here. So let's cut on our vacuum source. Let's see what we have. This header is a 1.75 inch diameter exhaust tube with a 2.5 inch inner diameter collector. So we're right here at about 225, 226 CFM on this port. So with the 1.75 inch, that's low. That's low. So we're gonna do a little port work on this header because the cylinder head that this header will be going on will be ported by us, and it's an LS cylinder head, and the exhaust flow at 600 thousandths, I believe, was 224. So it's right here at this header. So we're going to do some port work on this header to get this header to flow up around 240, 245 CFM. So it's a better matchup with that cylinder head. So this is just another video showing you guys the real deal of these parts and what's out there. I've seen 1.75 inch headers flow way less than this. I've seen some flow as low as 180 CFM. And the cylinder head, I don't want to say any names really, but the cylinder head was from a reputable company, and it was 1.75 inch. So all porting is not the same. All parts are not the same, and all manufacturers don't produce the same work. So once again, this is Tony over here at Big Dogs Port. See you guys at the track.